Hello, good evening. Welcome to our discussion, our live discussion tonight about healing and health and how our beliefs can block our healing or boost our healing. Now I'm going to wait a few minutes, hey Cal, and give some time for people to join us. So that way we can have a live discussion. Some of the things that we're going to touch on tonight are some of the healing beliefs that people do uncover. Some of the some of the beliefs that, as I said, we do uncover. Some of the probably the most obvious ones, the most, I won't say popular, but the most known ones. So we will talk about some of those and what those can look like. And these are limiting beliefs, beliefs that get in the way of your ability to heal, that block your overall health and well-being. And we'll also talk about, as time allows, we'll also talk about beliefs that can boost your healing ability, boost your health, because, well, I don't know about you, but if I had a choice between beliefs, I certainly want beliefs that are going to boost what I want to achieve, how I want to be living, versus beliefs that are getting in the way and limiting that ability. Now, once we talk about some of those beliefs, both limiting with some examples and some beliefs that can boost our healing ability or boost our health, we're also going to talk about some resources. Hey Pam, welcome. We're going to talk about some resources that can help you look further into what your beliefs are, help to further uncover them, because I do believe that we uncover them in layers often. And then at some point during our conversation tonight, we'll also check in on whether or not you know what your healing beliefs are and which ones may not yet be conscious to you. And we'll talk about clearing those limiting beliefs, so that way we can get to the core of those beliefs that will boost. Now, if this is the first time that you are joining our live event, if you have questions, if you have comments, feel free to type them so that way I can see them and we can address them through the course of this discussion tonight. And if not, then hopefully others will have questions or comments, so that way we can not just address some of the general ones that I see come up in practice or in my own life, but also ones that are specific to you. Because certainly if you're on this call, we want this call to address things that may be coming up for you. So feel free to ask questions, make comments as we go along. All right. So one of my first questions to all of you is, do you know what your healing beliefs are? Have you taken the time to think about what your beliefs are around your healing? Has it been something that you've spent any time thinking about? I have to say, in preparing for this conversation tonight, I realized that I have put a lot of time and thought and energy into my own beliefs in general. But at the same time, considering how health is so important to us, I don't know that I've put as much time into what my healing beliefs actually are. And I don't know that I've put time into making sure that they're updated and relevant, that I actually believe what all my healing beliefs are. Now, that might surprise some of you, thinking that, okay, I'm here to help people every day in my practice uncover their limiting beliefs and clear their limiting beliefs, creating pathways to optimal healing and overall vibrant living and well-being. And yet, I don't know my own limiting beliefs. I know it can be a question that sometimes surprises me as well, because you get in, how do I put this? Well, sometimes I get in the routine of what I'm doing and how I'm going through my day, and my focus being on others, I have to remind myself often to return that focus to myself. Now, if you're somebody who is currently receiving care in my practice, and if you were scheduled today for an appointment, you probably got a phone call or a text message or an email, some kind of message saying that I wasn't coming into the office today. And the reason I wasn't in the office today is because I've been getting a message from my body over the last couple of weeks that has told me that I needed to rest. And I would do just enough to get that message to go away. Now, what did that look like? For me, it's the sign that I might be coming down with something, I might be getting sick. At least that's how a lot of people would refer to it. For me, in this most recent couple of weeks, it was a sore throat that would want to come up. It would be a scratchiness to my throat. Feeling a bit tired in a way that I don't typically feel. All these signs, a little achy. All of these signs that said, ooh, in my mind, I'm thinking, yeah, my body's talking to me. And so I did just enough to get that sore throat to go away. And that might be, I went home after a long day at the office and I rested, or I went to bed early to get extra sleep. I might have taken a nap. I might have made sure I was extra hydrated. I might have rearranged my schedule a bit, all to respond to that message that my body was giving me, but yet just enough to get those symptoms to go away. Not enough, even though I had this conversation with Kelly a couple of weeks ago, that I really needed some extra time off. My body was really asking for me to give it time to rest. And each week as those messages were coming through, I'd be like, no, I can't do it. Like, I have people who are scheduled. I have a full schedule. I can't let them down. And while I'm having this conversation with myself and with Kelly, because of course she's going to be the one to be calling people if I do change my schedule, at the same time I'm having conversations with people in my office talking about how it's so important to make sure that we take care of ourselves first, that we're providing ourselves with good self-care, and which of course includes rest. It includes eating healthy, getting good sleep, having fun. Well, anything that you can think of. It might be getting a massage. Certainly coming to my office or having a remote session with me would be part of self-care. Spending time with family, with friends. I think I said eating well. Staying hydrated, which reminds me, I've got my water right here. I'm going to have some right now. And so with all of that, I kept putting it off because part of my mind was still in charge. My mind was still telling me that I had goals that I was wanting to achieve this month, achieve in my practice. And to do that, I had to be doing. I had to be producing. I had to, at the end of the day, feel that I had been productive. I had some ideas about what I wanted to get done. And that included videos for my intuition video series, and some emails that I wanted to create, and some other content I wanted to create for some new programs and offerings. And so I had all of this in my mind that I had to do. And again, doing just enough. Well, on Friday, my body said, nope, no more of this. Saturday morning, I got up. I started doing a few things around the house, thinking, okay, I'm going to take it easy. This weekend's going to be about rest. I don't have anything set on my schedule. And as I was going through my day on Saturday, taking care of things around the house and outside, doing some errands, by Saturday afternoon, my body says, you are done. If you don't rest, like, you're going to be sick. You're going to be expressing health, which is the term that I use when I'm experiencing symptoms. My body telling me that something's not okay. Hey, Kathy. And in doing that, I finally stopped. I finally listened fully and gave myself that time and that space to take care of myself. Now, was it easy? I can tell you on some level it was not, because I have this belief in my head, again, that I have to be productive, that if it doesn't require effort, it doesn't have value. And if I'm not productive at the end of the day, where's my value? How am I offering value if I literally have rested all day? And if people are counting on me and I haven't created content or information that, what's funny is that they don't even know I'm creating, but I've decided I've got to create for them, I'm letting them down. So these are the beliefs that were getting in the way of me fully taking care of myself, and getting in the way of me not only fully taking care of myself, but feeling fabulous, because I was feeling run down. I was feeling tired. I was feeling like this sore throat. All of these things that said, oh yeah, things are not quite right. Things are not aligned. But yet I continued to do anyway. So beliefs are something that we're going to constantly be evaluating and reevaluating. This is not like a one-time deal where we decide that this is our belief and it doesn't ever change. There's probably other layers, as we continue to grow, as we continue to let go of limiting beliefs, we discover that there are new possibilities and new options, and that's part of what I want to talk about tonight. Now, if you're just joining, again, feel free to ask questions. Feel free to make comments. If there's something in particular you're wanting to know about, feel free to make those comments, so that way we can talk about those. So Kel is sharing some of her beliefs that she's held in the past. And if any of these are beliefs that you go, oh yeah, that's me, I've either had it in the past, or, oh wow, that's something that I'm experiencing now, make a comment below. I know Pam did a thumbs up. You can do a thumbs up. You could do a yes, a no. So that way I can kind of see where people are at. Now, one of the beliefs that Kel says that she has held in the past is that health is only about my physical body. How many either had that belief in the past, or on some level still find themselves focusing only or predominantly on their physical health when they think about their health? This is certainly one that, well, when you think of New Year's resolutions or goals for the new year, I mean, gym memberships skyrocket, attendance at the gym skyrocket in those in that first month, sometimes two, and then it usually falls off from there, because often the focus is the physical. Now I have to say for myself, because, let me see what people are saying here. Oh yeah, Elaine says thumbs up to that. I have to say, because I knew that, I have spent more time in the last couple of years focusing more on my emotional and spiritual health. my mental health than the physical. But in doing that, it became really clear that I was letting some of the physical health aspects fall off. So that certainly is part of what we want to look at when we think of our beliefs about health. Now, another limiting belief that Kel has shared is, as I age, it's normal to have aches and pains. What I find interesting about this one is I've had some people in my office come in and say, well, isn't what I'm feeling because I'm getting older? Now, to some degree, yes, especially depending on how physically hard we've worked, how physically hard that we've worked our body, and whether or not we've provided it with good self-care to balance that physical work that we've put it through. Yes, to some degree, aches and pains can be a part of aging. At the same time, what I find funny about this is I've had people in their 20s, in their 30s say, isn't this just normal aging? At that point, I would say, hell no, especially when I have people in my practice who are in their 50s, 60s, even their 70s, getting closer to their 80s, and are vital, vibrant, active, well, and flexible people. So we don't want to just hold on to that belief that aging is something that, well, the way I describe it, that we degenerate into. It does come back to our beliefs. And certainly if we have the belief that age is normal, that it's normal to have aches and pains as we age, we don't think like we can do something about it when we absolutely can. Oh, another belief that Kel has, working hard is respectable, but self-care isn't. How many have had experience with that belief, that working hard is where we offer and provide value to ourselves and our life, but taking care of ourselves is not high up there on the priority list? Anybody? Let's see. Okay. Well, certainly at this point in my life, a few years back, I'd say probably over 5 at this point, I made it my number one goal to put my self-care, my overall health and well-being as my top priority goals in anything that I do, whether it's my practice, my personal life, my professional life, or I realized how important it was to have my self-care, my health be my number one goal. And I know I've shared this probably with some of you, the analogy, and there's a woman that I watched this video, and she was talking self-care, and she was saying how so many people told her self-care was selfish. And Kathy has, yes, that it's indulging, that it's not a need, that it's frivolous. Well, all of these things suggest that we're not important, that we're not a priority, that our health is not where our wealth comes from. And I don't know about you, but if we don't have our health, how many areas of our life is affected if we don't have our health? So the analogy that I often share with people in my practice, and I had to remind myself of, and I actually had somebody in one of my private Facebook groups remind me of, because I share it so often, is that it's important that we live from a full cup. And what does that mean? It means that when we think about our life overflowing, and I'm sure you've probably heard that analogy, that life overflows, our cup overflows, which suggests that life is just wonderful and we have so much we're grateful for, so many blessings in our life, so many things that are wonderful and good, and we're grateful for that. But I don't know about anybody else. I was certainly taught when I was growing up that you take care of other people first and then you take care of yourself, and it was selfish to put yourself first. And what this woman explained in this, that we live from a full cup, that everything in the cup is for us. Everything that overflows is for everyone else. And that's what I was sharing earlier when we first got on this Facebook Live, is I had let my cup get depleted, which is why I spent so much time resting this weekend and why I rescheduled, or Kelly rescheduled, appointments from today, because I needed more rest. And I can even still hear it in my voice that there's probably still some more rest that's needed in there to fully fill my cup. So that way I'm taking care of myself. I am the priority. And then I'm at my best to fully support everybody else who comes in for care. Now, hello, Jerry. Welcome. If any of you have questions about these limiting beliefs that have so far been shared, please feel free to ask. If you have any limiting beliefs that you're wondering about or questioning for yourself, please feel free to share. Now, Kelly did add, especially women, because we tend to be natural and expected caregivers. Yes, I think everybody on this live right now could probably agree with that we were certainly taught to take care of others first, and often at the detriment or in some way compromising ourselves. Again, if you have limiting belief you want to discuss or ask questions about, feel free to do that. And if you're not sure what your limiting beliefs are, let me know, because we certainly want to talk about that. I'm going to I'm pulling up something in my computer. If you were on the last live, you know that we pulled up, we discussed what people's limiting beliefs were and address some of them during the course of the live event. So I want to make sure I have my beliefs listed here to be able to do that before we're done tonight. Okay. Well, if no one currently has any other beliefs that they want to discuss, I was going to share some of the ones that have come up in practice for myself, for people that I know, and certainly for some that come in to receive care. Now, I can tell you that some of these beliefs may put you, well, a little on edge, might make you a little uncomfortable. They may, well, maybe even get you a little mad, or you might find yourself being a little emotional. And I will say that if something that I share tonight about these beliefs does do that, it does suggest that that's probably something to look at deeper, that there is probably a limiting belief there getting in the way of you fully living the vibrant life that you want to be living. That's somehow getting in the way of you doing that. So one of the ones that I hear often is, well, that runs in my family. So it's probably highly likely that I'm going to get that because it does run in my family. And let's see, Kathy's sharing one. Oh, yes. This is one that I hear often as well. And what she's sharing is, others are worse off than I am, so I should just be happy for what I have and who I am. How many have run into that? How many have thought that, oh, who am I to, well, to complain, to vent, to have something to say? Who am I to say I need support or need help? around something that we might be experiencing in our own life, whether it was physically, emotionally, spiritually, or mentally. I'm seeing lots of likes and hearts around that comment, suggesting that yes, we've all experienced that. And yes, we want to be grateful for what we do have and what we are experiencing, and want to be aware of what others might be experiencing. But at the same time, it in no way suggests that what they're experiencing is more relevant, more important than you. Now, through all the years that I've been providing healthcare of some sort, and again, whether it's healthcare that I seek out for myself or care that I'm providing to others, what seems insignificant to others may affect a person's life in deep, profound ways that we can't begin to imagine. Something that if others were to observe it, might think like, oh, that was minor. Or even in our own mind, we might think, oh, that wasn't a big deal. I'm not bothered by that. I let that go a long time ago. But yet, it's coming up in our subconscious limiting beliefs in such a way that it's like we're bumping up against a ceiling or hitting a wall, and we can't figure out why. And part of it is because we do have these beliefs, and it may have been based on something that as an adult you look back and go, oh, wow, that was pretty insignificant. But if it occurred when you were 6, when you were 7, when you were 2, when you were 10, at that age, our brains have not developed to the level that they have as an adult. Our ability to reason and understand operates very differently. And as such, we're going to fill in the story. We're going to fill the information with what we're capable of at that time, which may be very different than how we complete that story as an adult. So I know words can only go so far, but I'm here to tell you what is going on for you is not any more important or any less important than anybody else. If it's going on for you and it's relevant to you, then it's important. End of story. Just like what's going on for somebody else. Again, there's not a better or worse, or this means I get more time or less time or more attention or can have more care versus, or less care because, well, it's not as bad off as so-and-so. Anything that we do to provide healing for ourselves has a ripple effect to everybody we come in contact with. Anything that we do, I'm saying this again because this is so important, anything that we do to take care of ourselves, to support ourselves, to be healthy, to uncover limiting beliefs, to create new, powerful, what I refer to as boosting beliefs, affects those around us. So what may appear insignificant, certainly to others, can have huge transformational impact, not just on ourselves, but others that we come in contact with. Does that make sense? Again, if you have questions or thoughts, feel free to ask as we go through. Now, I mentioned if a condition runs in the family, you hear about genetics. And I'm not going to go into this a lot, but if you're interested in why some people get certain diseases and illnesses and others don't, then definitely check out The Biology of Belief by Bruce Lipton. The Biology of Belief by Bruce Lipton. It's on the topic of epigenetics. And to briefly give you some information about that, scientists used to believe that genes determined pretty much everything, and that our environment had some effect, but only a little bit. Well, what they've discovered is our environment is actually significantly more important than our genes. Now, our environment can be our thoughts, which we're certainly talking about tonight. It can be what we put into our body, what we put on our body, so toxins. It can be who we spend time with. It can be what we come in contact with in our home, outside our home, certainly with all the toxins, environmental toxins and pollution and things that we're seeing. I know, yeah. So let's see. Jerry. Jerry says, it's not only children who fill in the blank to create their own story. Very good point. We often do this as adults because we're programmed not to ask questions. Absolutely. Excellent point. Thank you for bringing that up because that is so true. One of the resources, and I'm going to share some resources throughout this conversation, that this is discussed really well is Brene Brown, is the author Brene Brown. She's got a number of books, and this is what she talks about, how we create our own stories. And yes, part of it is we are programmed not to ask questions, and also we make a lot of assumptions. And yes, we may know the saying that when we assume, we make an ass out of you and me. But at the same time, do we take the time to uncover, well, in this case, as Jerry put it, ask questions to get really down to what's going on? Or do we fill in the blanks because our brain is literally designed that the more we fill in the blanks, the more it's us. So we really want to fill in those blanks. So we want to know. And that can actually get us into trouble. And trouble, we decide that we know what somebody else is thinking. We decide we know what's going on when we have, really, when it comes down to it, no idea. But we take bits and pieces of information, and as Jerry said, we fill in the blanks and create our own story, which can lead us down a path that is so not based on anything that's true. And Kathy adds, listen to George Carlin, question everything. Oh, yes. I used to love going to see George Carlin. Yes, question everything. And if you can really do that, you're going to provide yourself with avenues for healing, for instance, since that's our topic tonight, that you may not have been aware of otherwise. Now, to give an example of how we can change, our beliefs can change how we move forward in health and healing. Now, we've only touched on the one belief, well, from my list. I know we've touched on some others, but that if a condition runs in the family, if an illness runs in the family, we're probably going to get it. There was a woman that I knew, this was a few years back. She worked in the office building next to mine. Our offices shared a parking lot, and she brought her dog to work. So I'd often see her outside, and we had become friendly. And one day she shared that I was going to start noticing some differences because she had been diagnosed with breast cancer, and she was going to be starting treatment. So I may notice that she didn't look well, or that she seemed more tired. And certainly there was the possibility that she was going to lose hair and things like that. And I was speechless because this was a woman who just really, on some level, exuded health. She was active, she was vibrant, she had great energy, and yet she's sharing this with me. So I was shocked and found myself speechless. And she said, oh, don't worry, don't worry. She's like, it was just a matter of time. And I said, what do you mean? And she said, since I was a little girl, I knew how important it was to start getting checked for breast cancer because every single woman in my family has had breast cancer. So I knew it was just a matter of time. And honestly, at some On some level, I'm relieved because now the time's here. I don't have to worry when it's coming. I was shocked. I had no idea what to say. But the story that she had been told from such a very young age is all the women in her family were going to get breast cancer. It was just a matter of time. Family members told her that, doctors told that, and it became true. Now, some of you may know this, others probably not, but I had my own shock a couple of years ago. I guess it was a few years ago. Hey, Angela, where I went for like a yearly checkup and had a breast exam, and the nurse practitioner who did the exam said she found a lump, and I was surprised because it wasn't anything that I had noted, and I asked her to show it to me or to point it out so I could feel it, and I couldn't feel anything. But she certainly insisted that it was there and told me that I had to go and get some additional tests, and told me that the paperwork was going to be waiting out front, that the exam was done and I could get dressed, and she walked out of the room. Now, I don't know about you, but my brain was like, whoa, what's going on here? I was just told that there's a lump in my breast. And as you can imagine, my brain immediately started to go down what I called the breast cancer train. Okay, I get this test, and then I'm going to lead. And all I could see was breast cancer at the end. Now, after I got over my initial shock, I called Kel. I also called and talked to a couple of healing friends of mine and talked to them about possibilities. I wanted to know what my options were. This nurse practitioner, I was shocked, never asked if I had questions. She never asked if I wanted to hear about other options. She just told me I needed to go get this other invasive test, and that was it. Well, I chose not to get that test. I did choose to follow through on some alternative options, and I don't have breast cancer. If I did have breast cancer, what I chose to do took care of it. I know it was the right move for me. I know others think that I was crazy, and think that we absolutely should follow through and do all the advanced testing that's out there. I personally believe that that's a matter of personal opinion and is based on beliefs. So, as you can see, that's two examples of how being told something can result in different circumstances. I chose to go a different route instead of, like I said, following that breast cancer train. The other woman, well, as you can imagine, being told from such a young age that it was just a matter of time, I mean, it became reality. So part of the reason for this discussion tonight, too, is to put out there that there are unlimited possibilities available to us for our overall health and healing. It's not unusual for people to come into my practice and said, oh, my doctor just said this is something I'm going to have to live with. Or we can't do anything about it until it gets bad enough that surgery is necessary. Or bad enough that the medications, which have their own awful side effects, are worth it. So you just have to live with what's going on until it gets bad enough. Bullshit. Bullshit. There are unlimited possibilities for our overall health and healing. We hear stories, we read stories on a regular basis about people healing from injuries and illnesses that are unimaginable. People doing amazing things in their life after they've been told that they have, just days, weeks, months to live, who have lived far beyond anything the doctor had ever thought possible, even to the point that doctors will often say, well, the test that said you had it in the first place must have been wrong. So again, unlimited possibilities for your overall health and healing. Now, I know I'm doing a lot of talking here tonight because there aren't too many questions. So I'm hoping that the information that I'm sharing is relevant, that what you're hearing is somehow helping, is somehow supporting you on your own journey for health and healing. And again, if you have questions, comments, please feel free to share. Now, I'm going to run through some of these other limiting beliefs that certainly come up regularly. Okay, let's see. I don't deserve to be healthy. I don't deserve to heal. And this may be tied to something you've done in your life where you feel like you deserve to not be healthy, you deserve not to heal. There's usually an underlying subconscious belief of not being worthy, not being deserving, not having enough value. Another one, I'm not capable of healing myself. That I need the right expert, the right medication, the right remedy, that we need something from outside ourselves to heal. Now, my belief is we are absolutely capable of healing ourselves. I mean, we cut ourselves, our body heals. We get exposed to a virus or a bacteria, our body has a fever that results, it goes to work to fight that. We have the ability to heal these things ourselves. Why not something more serious? Our body created whatever illness or disease that we might be experiencing. If our body has the capability to create that, it's my belief that we absolutely have the capability to heal that. Now, one of the resources I wanted to share tonight, and some of you have may seen it, earlier this year, myself and Mind the Body Therapies hosted an event, and it was the Heal, the documentary, which was a con with healers and doctors, well, people from around the country, certainly, and their thoughts about our ability to heal. If you haven't seen it, please see it. Again, it's called Heal, the documentary. Excellent. And some of what I'm talking about certainly is covered in that. And Kathy adds, yes, the power that made the body heals the body. Absolutely. We have that power within us. We have that capability within us. Okay. So again, we have the power to heal ourselves. So that's certainly in my opinion, an excellent belief to have. Another belief might be, I don't need help healing myself. Now, I've run into some people like that too, who believe that they should be able to take care of everything. There are circumstances that certainly we don't need others to heal what might be happening within us or happening to us. And at the same time, I do believe that our healing journey is not meant to be alone. That, well, I know for myself and certainly for people that I work with in my practice, if we were capable of healing ourselves, then we'd be a lot healthier planet. We'd have a lot healthier society. We'd have a lot healthier, species. We often get in our own way. We're not always able to see how we get in our own way. So while we do have an unlimited capacity for healing, an unlimited capacity for health, I do believe that that's our normal state, that there are times absolutely that we would benefit from working with experts, from working with others who have experience with health and healing. If your belief is, I don't need help healing, my question to you is, where is the fear? What fear is coming up for you about seeking support or seeking help? All right. What if it is fate or the will of God that I have this illness or disease? My question, what if it is your opportunity to share with others this unlimited healing capacity that was provided to us from God, from your higher power, whatever that might be? What if this is an opportunity to learn, to break down old beliefs, old thought patterns, old behaviors, to be able to create something that provides a new fabulous life in a way that we maybe only imagined? What if our illness or disease actually can lead us to what we're truly meant to do? And again, as I mentioned, beliefs or thoughts kind of rankle you a little bit, then it might be something to look at further. All right, let me see some of the others. I'm realizing that this time is flying. Okay, here are a few other limiting beliefs. Healing takes a long time or a set amount of time. Who says? Again, how many times have you said, oh, I know this is going to be hard. I know this is going to take a while. And yes, sometimes it does, but part of it is our belief. Part of it is our belief system. We not necessarily believe that we have this unlimited power and potential, not just to heal, but to heal with ease and to heal efficiently and to heal quickly. Or, here's another one. You go to the doctor for an issue. They send you to a specialist who sends you another specialist because they're going to look at that one piece of you. They're not going to look at all of you. And I don't know about you, but I see this in my practice regularly, where the person might come in with a condition and yet that is appearing physically, but the underlying cause of it is not an underlying physical cause. It's an emotional cause. It's a mental cause. It's a spiritual cause. It has nothing to do with what's physically going on in the foot, the elbow, the head, the heart, wherever it might be. We got to look at ourselves as the whole. Angela shares she's learning to receive. That's awesome, Angela. Thank you for sharing. Oh, here's another one. I don't want to get my hopes up. What I makes it worse. I'd rather stay with what I know. That's certainly one that I see pretty regularly. It's why when people come to work with me in my practice, that one of the benefits of working with me is I do provide unlimited support. I do provide support not just during office hours. People can contact me, email me, they can Facebook me, they can text me, they certainly can call me, because healing at times does feel rough. Let's be blunt. Sometimes it sucks and it hurts and it's painful. Changing from what we've been doing for weeks, months, years, and sometimes even decades. And changing from that, it doesn't seem simple, doesn't feel good. And so providing support, making sure that you have a support system to work through that is super important. All right. I like this one. I don't have time to be sick. At some point, your body, I don't know about you, is going to tell you, you either do this or it's going to be sick. It's going to be sick, and you're not going to have a choice. You're going to find yourself taking time off from work. So those are certainly some, and I do have a list, but I realize I want to give time to talk about some other things and check about some other things. So did any of those limiting beliefs resonate with you? Did you find that some of them did cause you to feel either a little bit emotional, a little angry, to think like, oh no, that's not me. I would take some time to look at yourself questions about these beliefs. And especially if you haven't taken the time to uncover what your beliefs around healing are. If you haven't taken the time to do that and your life isn't healthy, you don't feel healthy, you're not healing in a way, that you're finding that you have aches and pains that are becoming chronic, that you have illnesses that are not responding in the way that you think to how you're taking care of yourself. Look at your beliefs. Ask yourself questions about health, about your ability to heal. Watch the movie, Heal the documentary. Another one that I like, I don't know if you can see this, Heal Your Body, Louise Hay. This is a great book that can help you look at some of the underlying emotional causes to what you might be feeling physical, because it's usually not just physical. This is another great one. You can see this, Healing Myths. Oh, wait a minute, let me get this right. Healing Myths, Healing Magic by Donnie Epstein. So that's a great one to look at. Oh, and I don't know if I said this, the 4 Agreements. This is a great one, not just for healing beliefs, but beliefs in general. I've shared this before. So those are some resources for you to dive further into what your beliefs are. Because if you haven't taken the time to look at your beliefs and you're wondering why your mental, emotional, physical, spiritual health isn't vital and vibrant and awesome, then spending some time looking at your beliefs is super important. Now, I want to check in and see who's still here. If you're still here and you're interested in me uncovering or checking in to see what beliefs might be blocking you or getting in the way of your overall health and well-being, just make a comment below, something that lets me know that you're still here, and I will check in. I don't know if the internet is slow tonight. I know somebody's making a comment here, and I'm having trouble seeing it. Let me see if I can pull it up on my phone. That might be easier. All right. Oh, the last book, Angela. Let me get this in. The 4 Agreements. Don Miguel Ruiz. That's an awesome book. I reread that every year. All right. So if you're still here and you want to know what your limiting beliefs are, beliefs that might be blocking you from your overall health and well-being, make a comment below and I will check in on what beliefs might be blocking you. All right. Okay. Okay, Jerry, let's see. All right, so I'm just going to check in and see what beliefs come up for Jerry around her overall health and healing. All right, let me see what's coming up. Okay, Jerry, the one that is coming up for you, that you are safe even if you make a mistake. So that belief is one that is currently blocking you in some way. Kathy. Let me see. Okay, Kathy, the one that's coming up for you. I create exactly what I want because it's mine already. Now, I think we've probably talked about this. And for those of you who have not heard this belief statement before, I have a list of beliefs that I have created from working with people like yourself, certainly have come up when I find, working with myself and people that I know, things that, well, that I realize have gotten in my way, or in working with others has gotten in their way from them achieving and creating the life that they want to be living. And the statement, I create exactly what I want because it's mine already. What that statement is saying is that anything that we have a thought about, anything that we have a belief about, a desire about, anything that we want, need, is available to us if we, say that we want it, if we hope that we can have it. It's available to us because if it wasn't, then we would not even have the thought. We would not even have that thought. So the belief, I create exactly what I want because it's mine already, is saying, because I have the thought, it's available to me now. Not 10 years from now or 20 years from now or even a year from now. It's available for us to be moving in that direction now. I don't know about you, how often have you said, I want to go on vacation? And the next thought, you don't necessarily say it out loud, but sometimes you do, is, but here's all the reasons why I can't. I don't have the money. I can't take the time off. There's too much going on. I'm afraid to go to some other country I've never been. Nobody will go with me. That list can be endless. And so literally, as we're having the thought about I want, I need something, writing it down. And we might not even be aware of it. So if you find that there's something that you really want, that you really desire, that you really need, how are you shutting yourself down? Let's see. So I did Jerry, Kathy, and yeah, the internet seems to be. Oh, did I lose you? Oh, I think I locked up. Okay, so Kathy says all those reasons and more. So Kathy, as we probably have discussed to some degree, how can you acknowledge those other thoughts but not put energy into them? And one of the ways to do that is to say thank you to your body for sharing it with you, letting you know about it, and then letting your body and being know that that's an old belief, and claim that new belief. Now, as far as health and healing, okay, good. Thanks, Cal. So I might have been locked on the screen, but I could still be heard, so that's good to know. So when it comes to health and healing, one of the most powerful belief I think available to us literally is, I am my most powerful healer. Another statement along with this, I have everything within me that I need. As I mentioned, whatever illness or disease somebody might be experiencing, their body created it. And if their body created it, they have the ability to heal it. Now, one of the key pieces to me in this is that don't ignore what your body's telling you. Don't wait days, weeks, months, or even years before you start paying attention to what your body has to share with you. And respond now. Anybody else that's still here who wants to know what beliefs might be blocking them from creating or living the life they fully want? Okay. So I shared, and I realized we are just about at our hour time mark, but there was a couple of other things I wanted to touch base on. And again, okay. So we talked about a number of limiting beliefs. As I mentioned, if some of them bothered you in some way, or you have not put any thought or energy or time into what your limiting beliefs might be or your healing beliefs might be, absolutely put some time into that. Any of the questions that I asked tonight, any of the statements that I made about limiting beliefs, you can certainly start there. And that can be, you ask the question and see what comes. You can do some journaling around it. Certainly you could have a conversation with somebody else about what their beliefs are to see what they say compared to what you're thinking. I do find that that can be really valuable in uncovering certainly some nuances. Hey, Shane. Certainly some nuances to what might be getting in the way of our ability to heal. Jerry says, yes, we need to learn to change our languages. Absolutely. Absolutely. There are words and statements and phrases that we often say and don't even think about it. We don't even stop and think what impact that they actually have on our ability to heal. And it can be something as simply as, oh, this is hard. I don't have the money to do this. I have so much going on, I don't have the time to put into it. All of these things can absolutely get in the way of our ability to heal. All right, Angela, limiting beliefs. Let's see what's coming up for you. All right. Again, I'm looking at my list that I've created from working with so many different people. Now, Angela, what comes up for you, the belief that's getting in the way of your full ability to heal. Now, this is just one belief that may be blocking, but for you, it is safe to be the woman that you are. So there's something that right now is blocking your ability to feel safe being yourself, and that's getting in the way of your full capacity to heal. Now, all right. Now, I've talked about some of the top limiting beliefs. I've given you some ways to start to uncover what your limiting beliefs are if you're not already aware what they are. And again, even if you think you're aware, give yourself some time. Our health is crucial. Without it, what else do we have? It will severely limit everything else about our life if we don't have our health. So give yourself that time, give yourself that gift to spend some time looking at your beliefs. Some of the boosting beliefs. Now, we talked about blocks, limiting beliefs and blocks. That's what I mean by blocks, is beliefs that get in the way of our full capacity to heal. Boosting beliefs are things like, I am my most powerful healer. I have everything within me that I need. Those I see as boosting beliefs. Those are beliefs, once aligned within us physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, consciously, and subconsciously, can really open the pathways to full healing. I shared with you some resources to do some more work on your own. And now that we are getting near the end here, I also want to offer anyone who has not already done this a complimentary 30-minute discovery session. And what is this? It'd be 30 minutes that you and I spend together on the phone, diving into what's going on in your life, what beliefs might be getting in your way, and what can we do to start clearing that moving forward for you being able to live a full, vital, vibrant life. If you contact me, and you can put it below, and let's see, put Vibrant Life in the comments if you want a 30-minute complimentary discovery session. And if you do that call this week, or at least schedule it, call and get it scheduled this week. If you decide to work with me, if we are a good fit for working together, then you will get 50% off the total cost of any work that we do together. And that is for this week. So we want to schedule a 30-minute complimentary discovery session. So make the comment Vibrant Life in the comments, and that will get us connected, so I know you want to talk about that and we can get that scheduled. The other way to move forward with that is you certainly can go to, well, I'll put the link in the comments, but it's a bit.ly link, Vibrant Life Now. I'll put that in the comments. All right. Any last minute comments, questions before we wrap this up? Well, if you think of something after this conversation, after this live is over, feel free to put the comments below. Feel free to, if you don't want to do it publicly, you can send me a private message and ask the questions there, and we can continue this conversation. All right. Well, it was great having you all join tonight. I look forward to further conversations to uncover your limiting beliefs and to create your boosting beliefs, so that way you can be living your vibrant life and be living it now. I hope you all have a wonderful evening. I'm sending love and health and ease in your transformation until we connect again. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.